because it's so high, especially in America, to go to school, and then there's not a lot out there that prevents you from gaining some debt before you even graduate. So that's kind of a stressful thought. I've got 2 kids in college myself, and I know what that's like. We all are kind of experiencing that exact stress load, and my older daughter is, en route to being she wants to be a physician, so that's not a cheap date. That's quite costly, and so that brings a lot of stress when you're doing something so positive for yourself and you're experiencing stress because of it financially. It's one of those things that has to be done for yourself, but it's in order to grow and really expand in your career. And I'm not saying that everybody has to go to school in order to be successful. There's a lot of people out there that haven't done that, but there is stress still in that route too, especially entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs that are both educated and not doing a formal education can experience great amounts of stress when they're working with their business and trying to make payroll, and they may have hundreds of people that they're responsible for, and yet they're doing the best they can and the money flow is there, but take a bad month and you've got a lot at stake. So for somebody who's privately owning a company can be very, very stressed out. And so what do you do with all of that? What do you do with all of that stress? I also saw here an article I'm looking at. Women are at a breaking point because of workplace stress. There was a well-being survey done from Cigna. So women are at a breaking point. That's really interesting. And, I find myself in this culture of always being on. I have to always be on because I'm in the healthcare field. We're caring for people. I have my care staff out in different places all over New England and other parts of the country, and they are caring for people with a lot of health conditions. And so I'm the chief operating officer at this company, and it's pretty stressful for me. And I'm always on. I've gotten 3 texts alone over the evening, that there's something going on. And fortunately, I have such a wonderful staff that I work with that we kind of cover for one another. But myself being in the role that I'm in, it does get extremely stressful. It's very much always on, and that can be difficult. And some of the things that are affected are, they're saying in the UK, 79% of women report workplace stress compared to 66% of men. The top 3 stressors for working women are heavy workloads, personal health, and financial concerns. Basic needs such as sleep and food are part of the difference between genders. While 78% of women have trouble sleeping, this is only a problem for 66% of men. 27% of women believe they are eating a balanced diet, and 38% of men feel they are doing fine with that. And so then there's that sandwich generation. And, I know that a lot of men are experiencing stress too. I'm not saying that I'm discounting men, but this particular article that was written by Louise Chun was published on March 26th, and it's kind of interesting because it was in Forbes magazine, and it's just stating that women are really undergoing this massive load of stress right now. And the sandwich generation, women aged 35 to 49, are really seeing problems with child care responsibilities and their aging parents. And 87% say they are very stressed at work. 64% are always on. That's the always on work culture. And they're expected to respond to emails on weekends and evenings. That's me. I love my job, thankfully. I do love my job, and I have a lot of purpose related to my job, and that helps me feel so much better about being on all the time. And, I am so fortunate that I get to integrate all of these wonderful things I speak about on this show, because I, really talk to a lot of family members, and I get the opportunity to sit with folks that are, in places where they're near end of life, and we get to reminisce and talk and, think about things that brought them no stress, like the things that brought them joy in their life and memories. So I hear a lot of wonderful experiences like that, and I feel so blessed by that. And when I look at myself and how I'm digesting all of these experiences, I've kind of become in a space of where I see the glass is half full, where before I can remember days when I saw the glass was half empty. And I think that, some people want to honor that space of where they're at when they're looking at the glass is half empty. And I have some of those days still. But what I know and have learned from all of the information out there and great leaders and teachers and how to experience quality of life, it is best to work on coming from a place of your glass is half full. It's so important, even though some people might call it denial, some people might call it other things, but it honestly helps with your quality of life to be in that space where your glass is half full. And I've got a great quote from Deepak Chopra that I read last night in his book of Super Brain, Unleashing the Explosive Power of Your Mind to Maximize Health, Happiness, and Spiritual Well-Being. I think it was from this book, or it might have been from some other literature I was reading from Deepak Chopra, but it's his quote, and it's pretty amazing, and it says, when you live your life with an appreciation of coincidences and their meanings, you connect with the underlying field of infinite possibilities. This is when the magic begins. This is a state I call synchro destiny, in which it becomes possible to achieve spontaneous fulfillment of our desire. Another empowering statement, that's from Deepak Chopra, that you actually, when you're in a state of appreciation of just what's going on in the present moment and thinking about what that means to you, that it totally switches you on to infinite possibilities. It changes your frequency. It changes what's going on in your reality, because you are the one creating your reality. In this book that I mentioned, The Super Brain, Unleashing the Explosive Power of Your Mind to Maximize Health, Happiness, and Spiritual Well-Being, it's pretty cool. I just started reading it, and I think it's pretty amazing because it talks about the baseline brain and the super brain, and there's examples in there. And it's pretty cool how when you think about, okay, the baseline brain, which is just somebody who is not in the super brain mentality, this is some of the thoughts they may have. I felt out of control recently in at least one area of my life. My stress level is too high, but I put up with it. I worry about depression, or I am depressed. My life can go in a direction I don't want it to. My thoughts can be very obsessive, scary, or anxious. Now, if you were in the super brain mindset, which is that world of infinite possibilities, thinking about ways that, where you're at and being in a state of appreciation and gratitude, you could achieve super brain status. And so a super brain status is thinking along the lines of, I feel comfortable and in control. I actively avoid stressful situations by walking away and letting go. My mood is consistently good. Despite unexpected events, my life is headed in the direction I want it to go. I like the way my mind thinks. So, it's easy to just say these things and talk about how to think. But how do you get there? What are some ways to get there? And we're going to talk more about that when we come back. We're going to take another break.
Come explore with us natural and healthy ways to achieve inner peace, happiness, and an ever-present state of well-being on The Mind Health Coach with Leah Marie every Friday at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern Time on the Dream Vision 7 radio network. You're already healed. You just haven't realized it yet. When you're ready, you can change your mind and change your life forever. The power of a beautiful life is within you today. Are you looking for the keys to unlock the doors to excellent health, happiness, positive life experiences, success at work, wonderful relationships, and inner peace? You may think you won't ever find all of those keys that'll finally unlock the doors for good, but I can assure you that they're waiting to be discovered within you. The Mind Health Coach program helps you journey within and open those doors that are blocking your way to a beautifully balanced life. We help you find the most natural and healthy holistic practices that work best for you and your lifestyle. You're already healed. You just haven't realized it yet. When you're ready, you can change your mind and change your life forever. A beautiful life is waiting to be discovered within you today. To learn more about our program, visit mindhealthcoach.com.
Looking for a fun and relaxing getaway? Omega's Rest and Rejuvenation Retreats are a great way to unwind and renew your spirit. Stroll through the garden, relax by the lake, or try a daily yoga or movement class. You can stretch your body, quiet your mind, and do as much or as little as you choose. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Well, I've been afraid of changing 'cause I've built my life around you.
Welcome back to the Mind Health Coach program. I'm Leah Marie, your host, and you are listening to Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. And you can hear us on Alexa. You can ask for the Mind Health Coach program on Alexa. So tune in by telling your Alexa that you want to hear the Mind Health Coach. And so I was talking about a lot of things that can bring us stress, and I'm talking about how we can kind of change our perception of what's going on in our reality so that we can digest the stress differently and actually bring it into an infinite possibilities. Bringing awareness to it can actually bring us to a state of infinite possibilities where you're seeing everything that comes your way is synchronistic and there's meaning. Maybe there's lessons involved. Maybe it's pointing you in another direction, like you're walking away. Like one of the things in the Super Brain book was that when you identify some stressful situation that you actually just kind of walk away from it, that you let go if it's too stressful. You don't need to be participating in some things that aren't going to serve you. And that's really what it's about, identifying things that no longer serve you and releasing those. Now, some of those situations are not something that can be easily released. Like if it's a family member that's totally stressing you out, and maybe it's because they're not well, or maybe they have issues of dealing with stress themselves. So what do you do in those cases? I mean, we have to, as I said initially, in the way that we are experiencing through our senses, we have to digest everything that's coming our way, not only our food, but our experiences. So when we're having that, what do you do when you're having some negativity in your environment and you can't walk away? Well, there's still some things that you can do to help metabolize those things in healthy ways, to metabolize those experiences in ways that can help you accept the lesson, or still be in a state of gratitude, to find ways to release and let go of the toxicity. And one of the great ways that I love is emotional freedom technique. And so emotional freedom technique really sets your brain up and your physiology with a tool that's like, it's something that can really help you in the moment, and it can also help you take care of it after the fact. So I really recommend journaling when you're doing emotional freedom techniques.